Good evening, everyone. I will call the Thursday, June 22nd special selectmen's meeting to order. All three selectmen are present and we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the June 6th, 2023 Board of Selectmen meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, motion by Amy, second by Suzanne. Any discussion on these minutes?
Yeah, I have a couple things.
Okay,
Page 2. It was under new hires, paragraph 3, because it says it carried unanimously, because I abstained,
oh, that's right.
and the reason for that was because which I had said I was not in
Right.
on the interviews.
Okay,
So we need to correct that. And down under citizens' comments, the very last, where I was talking, I had offered copies of the data the finance director provided on fire department expenses for the fire tax district process.
so what was it?
Just
exactly?
replace the, I had
Offer to collect.
I had offered copies of the data the finance director provided on the fire department expenses for the fire tax district process.
Okay,
Yeah, he wasn't collecting it. He already had it.
okay.
You're right.
And I want to just point out Dottie could not make tonight's
Yeah.
meeting, so she'll be making her notes off of the recording. So we'll just make sure that we.
Yeah.
really-
Those are the two things that I saw.
Okay. All right, any other?
I didn't see anything that.
I think the only thing that jumped out to me, and I'm not certain because I would have to go back to the recording, but in that same citizen comments, the second set of citizen comments, it says Chief Brower, Thompson Hill Fire Station Fire Engine Company reminded the Board of Selectmen and those present for a need of a water rescue vehicle or
That's good.
vessel. I think that was Whipple. I
That
think
was
that was
Matt.
Chief Whipple.
That was Matt.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Cause I
Yes.
was teasing him about the boat.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Change that up.
for Dottie's notes, that should have been Chief Whipple.
Correct.
Matt Whipple from
Yep.
West Thompson Fire Department.
Mhm. Yeah,
Any others?
those are the,
Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes with the revisions as noted, say aye. Aye. I'll make a motion that we approve the special selectmen meeting minutes from Tuesday, June 13th, 2023.
Second.
Motion by Amy, second by Suzanne. Any discussion on these minutes? It's the quickest meeting to
Yep.
date.
9:05,
Setting of the mill rate.
ended at 9:06. We got the first and the second. Yep.
All right, all in favor of approving the minutes as presented, say aye.
aye.
Aye. All right, correspondence. Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. For May of 2023. Marie has stated that it was April and May, but I only have a copy of May. Did either of you get a copy of April?
Of what?
Of the,
This one says June 14th.
Mine says June.
right, it was for
Yeah, it's
May.
for the month of
Oh,
May.
yes.
Okay, I've got to check with Marie on that because I think April we already received a while ago,
I mean, this came from the lieutenant, so.
right? So anyways, just to give a rundown, because I've been asked in the past to give a rundown. During the month of May 2023, Troop D troopers responded to 187 calls for service in the town of Thompson. Of these calls for service, the most notable are 10 accidents, 18 investigations, 2 larcenies, 157 non-reportable matters. In addition to the above investigations, troopers conducted the following motor vehicle enforcement. There were no DUIs, there were 15 traffic citations and 19 written warnings. And that's it. All right. Any other correspondence to share with the board tonight? Right, thinking none. Selectmen comments. At this time, we'll open up the floor to selectmen comments.
We have a budget, so that's a good thing. We did set the mill rate. So we're good until working on it in beginning of next year.
Right.
That'll be when the board will be addressing it again. And on a sad note, everybody's probably been glued to the TV with that sub going down to the Titanic that they figured it had imploded. So,
Yeah, I heard
you
that.
know,
today.
at least they know what happened. So
Mhm.
very, very sad thing.
Prior to this budget passing, I had brought up a few different things that we might want to discuss at a future meeting. So just for agenda purposes,
Mhm.
I'd like to talk about going out to bid on a few different things, possibly town attorney.
Yeah.
Um,
We've already received approval on that. We discussed it, I just.
We
haven't pulled
discussed
the
it.
trigger
Okay,
yet,
yeah,
because
we
there
did-
were a lot
okay,
of
yes,
there
yes.
was a lot of litigation that was.
I
things
feel
that were
like
in
we've
flux.
had a lot going on and
Yeah.
yet not a lot going on. You know what I mean, with the budget going through. So town, I
Right.
just want to
But that was
clarify, town
already
attorney,
approved,
yeah.
we've got the bid
I
ready to
I
go.
wondered if we can get the town insurances requoted just to see if there's any savings there. I think it's just good business practice. I'd like to talk about possibly going out to bid for the EMS and just putting that out there
Okay. Just to clarify, we are in a 3-year contract.
with the
We're only
6
done
month.
with one.
Yes, but we do have a 6 month window if we find that there's a service out there that can provide a better provide service at a more cost effective rate and possibly communicate some of the concerns that I've had.
Mhm.
And I would like to have the transfer station put back on the agenda.
Okay. Or,
Possible, I know we talked about the increases that we were gonna implement, but since the budget didn't pass the first time, we've got to maybe look elsewhere, and increase possibly the sticker rates that we had agreed on. Just for discussion, it doesn't mean we'll do anything, but I think it's
No,
something that I had.
it's
said
something
prior.
that we need to do because they print up the new brochures and stuff.
and they ordered. the-
But I think right around the end of August,
Right,
somewhere around there, so.
so we got about 2 months time.
About 2 months, so if we're gonna, if something needs an adjustment, we definitely need to do it. As
Yeah.
far as the town insurances, we do have a broker that reviews it all the time, whenever they come up.
It
And
doesn't hurt to shop around a little bit. I know
No,
that we
but-
have a broker that is supposed to act in our best interest, but
But-
maybe we need to.
And I think Ken
Entertain.
and I would agree, and I'm fine, we're fine with entertaining, but I will say, and I think Ken would agree. That the service level that we get from HD Seeger, and me as a business owner, I know what it's like to have a not so great insurance company working for you.
I'm not saying we switch insurance, but
Right.
I'm saying that as it's a good business practice to be able to see if there's another option out there.
But that's why
less
we pay the
expensive.
consultant.
HD Seeger does a phenomenal job. It
And-
would be hard to, even if someone came in with a lower bid.
I mean, they even look at the fire insurance as well.
Right, but happy to do that. I think it's a good
But-
thing to,
But anytime it does come up for renewal, there's always a conversation with the with HD Seeger, who's our current
I had a
broker.
great insurance agent for a long time, many, many years. I found out I was paying $8,000 a year too much because I didn't shop around. It's not about personalities, it's not.
Oh, no, we're.
It is about cost and getting the same exact policy with insurance. You can get the same at a cheaper rate. I mean, so I'm just saying that we shop around and we put it on the
Right.
table to do that. I'm just looking for any way to save a few dollars for this town at this point.
no, agree.
Yeah, but when it comes to the workers' comp, that whole situation, it's bundled, we look at it. Same thing with the fire insurance, that's why the broker is there. And I'm sure Amy has, I've had, we talk about a multitude of companies that say do just workers' comp and, you know, weigh it out. And one of them that we were dealing with in the past was CCM, and we found we got a better deal going And we're no longer with CCM by a private nether firm that does municipal insurance, so we save money. But we do look at, they do look at all. of that.
The other question, the other thing I want to just bring up is updates on. The letter that was circulated throughout the town. I don't want to talk about the content, but I wondered if there were anything back from the police department, if it was going to, or if there was going to be any updates from Troop D on what.
I honestly did not follow up this week.
It's okay.
I was busy doing a few other things for the town. When I did speak with Troop D, probably a good week ago now, it was pretty clear that there was not going to be any arrests, if that's the question. And they were going to be having a conversation with the suspect in question.
Okay, so that's probably where it's gonna.
I think that's probably where it's gonna lie.
People have asked me and I've said, I don't know. And I just thought I would ask you if you've heard anything.
So based on what she said, it's still ongoing.
Right.
Yeah, it's ongoing, but
Right.
You know, they did solve the Black Lives Matter one,
Right.
you know, the one that was in Hartford.
mhm.
So they did that, I would have, I'm just speculating that was probably the front runner to get resolved first, and then you go down from there,
Mhm.
so.
Well, I don't think they were connected in any way.
No, but
so
it
it's-
goes through the hate crimes unit,
Yeah, yeah.
and, you know, they only have so many people, and they peck
Well,
away at the.
it painted a very nasty picture of Thompson, and we know that we're not anything like that. I mean, the people here are good people, and it doesn't reflect the people of Thompson, so just would be nice if it was solved, to be honest.
Yeah, we just have to wait for their final report as to what they came up with.
Any other selectmen comments?
So I think that was it for me.
And I don't have that much. I am gonna share some stuff on the roads in a little bit. Pulaski Brass Band Saturday,
Yeah.
pending the weather being
What is the weather, you know?
they're saying
Chance of thunder showers.
50%
course.
chance of thunder showers. But we'll see where it goes. We're gonna kind of make our decision tomorrow at some point.
I saw the rain date is for the following weekend, I think the 7th, or
Oh, was it?
is that what I saw? I think I saw that.
Okay.
Oh, it is saying 70% chance.
I think they've got something for this.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Let me look.
I was under the impression it was just gonna be canceled. I didn't.
That would have to go to a Friday because there's another town concert on the 8th,
Yeah,
on Saturday.
right.
On the Saturday, so maybe.
So maybe they're
I don't
planning
know.
it on Friday.
Yeah.
Gonna do it.
I
back
thought I
to
saw that, but I might have read something else that was.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do have one that's scheduled for Saturday on the 8th.
well, let's hope the weather holds out. Yeah, that'll be the kickoff.
We hope it holds out, but we're still down an inch of rain, but the grand scheme of things,
Mhm.
so.
That's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah, we could use those. All right, with that, I'm gonna open up the floor to citizen comments. We're gonna start with the virtual audience at this time. Any citizen comments from members of the audience virtually? Please feel free to unmute yourself, state your name and address. All right, I am not seeing anybody. I will open the floor to the live audience. Any citizen comments from anybody in the live audience? All right, we will move on. We're going to start with agenda item 7, a report from Putnam EMS Administrator Tammy Spiricott.
Good evening.
Hi, Tammy, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. I forwarded over the May operations reports. So starting from the top, the total request for service between both towns was 212. Putnam had 133 calls and Thompson had 76. Mutual aid received. Putnam was 0, Thompson was 0. Thompson into Putnam, we had 6. And then Putnam into Thompson, we had 2.
Okay, hold on just one second, Tammy. I'm gonna have to make you start. For some reason, I thought it was in the packet from Marie, but it didn't get out to the selectmen, so I'm gonna pull it up on the screen.
Okay, all right,
So give me 2 seconds to screen share.
sure.
Sorry about that, guys. All right, it is up on the screen. Start all over again. Sorry about that.
No, no worries. So this is our May 2023 operations report. Total requests for service in both towns was 212 calls. Putnam did 133 and Thompson did 76. Mutual aid received, Putnam was 0, Thompson was 0. Thompson to Putnam was 6 and Putnam to Thompson was 2. Mutual aid provided, we assisted Woodstock for 2 calls, Killingly for 1 call, Brooklyn for none, and Pomfret for none. The call to action is from the time when the pager goes off to when the ambulance crew signs on the air. And for the Putnam crews, they responded within 1.9 minutes. The Thompson crews were 2.2 minutes. And a total for both departments combined, or both stations combined, was 2 minutes. Response times are, again, the time from time of call when the pager goes off to when the crews arrive on scene. Putnam, it took them an average of 5.3 minutes. Thompson took an average of 8.6 minutes, and a total for the department was 6.5 minutes. We had a couple of calls over limits. The first call was after speaking with the crew is that they needed to use the restroom before they went out. And the second one was wrong dispatch times were entered into their charts. So that was easily fixed. We covered 3 speedway events. And at the bottom of this page, I had made a note about an incident that had happened where we had a call in Quinnebog. The Thompson crew was out on a call, and the Putnam crew, as well as QV Medic, had freed up, and they were responding from the town of Putnam. And my understanding was that the chief of Quinnebog canceled Putnam EMS and QV Medic and requested Dudley Fire instead. So I just made that note at the bottom in case that had come up in this evening's meeting. So
Why is that a problem?
why is what a problem?
That the chief of Quinnebog canceled the Putnam EMS.
Because we provide we have the PSA. So according to the PSA, if a Putnam EMS ambulance is free and available to do the call, that we are supposed to do the call.
But he was canceling an ambulance and asking for a fire.
Right.
Or
He
am
was
I
asking-
misunderstanding that?
That's not the ambulance.
He was asking for the Dudley Fire Department, their ambulance.
Oh,
Which
their
is also
ambulance.
medics.
Okay,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
that's not what I'm reading. And so what is the course of action for that?
I had reached out to the state because I was unfamiliar with how that worked. I spoke with Judy Reynolds, and I was also in contact with Amber Estelle, who is the operations manager at KB. It seems like with the prior service that this had been an issue with the Quinnebog department a couple of times. So as soon as I can date, I'd like to be able to sit down with the chief and discuss this matter with him.
I'm wondering if it was I'm not familiar with that it's happened before, but it is always a possibility that depending on the nature of the call, that somebody responding 3 miles to
Faster.
Quinnebog, then coming 10 miles, if it's an arrest or something of that nature, may require a little quicker response
Liquor, right?
due to
Then
the
coming from
circumstance,
Putnam.
right?
Could be.
Yeah.
So.
But it's probably a good, just let me, it's probably good that you do just go over the call with the chief and
Absolutely, absolutely,
answer any of the concerns that he may have.
absolutely.
For the response times,
Yes,
So the call to action is when you sign on,
yes, it is.
and then the response time is when you're at the scene?
Yes.
Because what is, your numbers don't match, like you have 247 calls for Putnam, is that per month? Per year, what are you dividing it out by? I'm trying to figure out.
Let me see, I have to check. So what I have to do by hand is I have to count out all of the calls or the times that is, and add them up. And the 133 is the number of calls that the town of Putnam did. And the 247 is the total minutes it took for all of the calls for the entire month.
So that's, okay, so you had
So there's an
133 calls for the month and you had 76 calls and then for a total of 209.
Yes. Oh, I added that wrong, didn't I? Yes. Yep. Because there were a couple of calls where the ambulance was canceled, so there was no time to go on.
No, I'm just curious about the number of calls.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say 209 is right? yeah.
Yeah, oh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yep.
So 209 calls and you had 76 in Tom's. Are we gonna get it, are you gonna email that out to us?
Which
So,
one? This?
yes,
Yeah, I can
Yeah,
email it to you,
yeah.
absolutely.
and I guess my questions that I had asked, I'm not able to really ask them or to get answers for, so we'll just have to wait.
Okay. All right, any other questions for Putnam EMS?
How are we doing with staffing, Tammy?
Staffing we're still working on it. We have 12 full-time employees. We're still working on making our way up to 16. So we had a couple of people that went to other services. So, and we also had a couple of people join in the meantime. We had someone that left for childcare purposes. So, but we have a lot of part-timers that have been stepping up and helping to fill in the hours.
Do we have, I'm trying to remember, because it's been a while since we talked with you.
Mhm.
I thought we had some that were going through the EMT course.
Yes, we did. Yep,
Yeah.
they 3 of the 4 candidates have passed their EMT class. I mean, the national exam.
And they're still with the service? Or were they?
2, yes, 2 of the 3 are, yes.
So what was it, 5 that were taking the course?
No, just 4.
It was 4 in total? I thought it was 5.
No, nope, it was 4.
So 1 hasn't passed, and so we have 2 more EMTs.
Yes, they are currently training with our other seasoned EMTs.
How are you doing with the Speedway? Were you there last night?
Yes, we did have a crew there last night. Yep.
How are you doing with the coverage though? Because they have a lot of events and they seem to be needing a lot of ambulances. Are you covering? them? Is
Yes,
Putnam EMS covering them?
If we are unable to cover them, we are reaching out to our neighboring services. We've been very fortunate. Woodstock has been helping us out, as well as Moose Up Ambulance. So Erica Charzan, who is in charge of finding crews for the Speedway, has been doing an excellent job of finding coverage for us.
Any other questions?
Anything else that we should know that may be coming in the future, Tammy?
No, nothing that I can think of.
All right, thank you, Tammy.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
You
Good
too.
night.
All right, agenda item 8, report from DPW director. Joe is not able to be here. He had something prepared on Tuesday, but couldn't make it tonight to this meeting, and I neglected to take it off the agenda. But what I do have is an update on the major road projects that are taking place that I thought that I would read. Yes,
This is after the budget passed with the reductions. What's gonna what he's gonna be able to accomplish?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify before I started taking notes.
So, well, this is just
The roads.
the big
The main
project,
ones, yeah.
so the full depth reclamation that he has planned. So July 5th through the 7th. We will be reclaiming and grading, starting on Old Route 12, then moving to Plum Road. Reclaiming grading will be they'll be finishing July 10th through the 14th, the following week. Grading and finishing, reclaiming and grading Plum Road and moving to Park Street. On July 13th, they plan on putting the binder and the top coat installation on Old Route 12, and then a binder on Plum Road. On July 14th, the top installation will be placed on Plum Road. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work. July 14th, additionally, the binder and top coat on Park Street.
Can you give us a copy of that?
Yeah, I absolutely.
Yeah, I
will.
mean, after you read it, I mean,
Yeah.
it's instead of.
It might be, yeah,
I'll make
Yeah.
yeah, we're
copies of
both
it.
trying to do the same
Yeah.
thing.
And then July 17th through the 21st, they'll be reclaiming and grading Fabian Road. July 24th through the 26th, they'll be reclaiming and grading Norman Hill Road. July 24th through the 29th, they'll be doing binder and top coat on Fabian Road, and they'll be finishing off the last week of July into August, putting the binder and top coat on Norman Hill and the top coat on Fabian Road. But I will make copies of this for everybody. So basically, the entire month of July, it's going to be all those major projects pending the weather cooperating,
Right.
as we all know. The great news is we did sit down with Beta Corp. They're the pavement management engineering firm that did a whole analysis. And all these roads that we're doing lined up with being the most critical.
Did
Oh, good.
the Beta Court send us a report?
Yes, well, they're finishing it up. Joe and I sat down with them yesterday. They have a full map which outlines all the critical roads, what needs just maintenance, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they also have a full report that's extremely informative, and we're gonna have them back here in the fall. They're gonna do a full presentation for the public.
Oh, good.
Well, and we're gonna, my idea, and I'll lean on both of you, my thought was that we would host the Board of Selectmen and the Board of Finance. So they could present their findings to both boards, and the public, of course,
At
would be
once,
welcome
yeah,
at once.
yeah.
It was really, the report is defined by which roads will give you the most bang for your buck. So it's based on how heavily traveled they are, based on federal highway standards. So it was really worth every dollar that we spent for it, which wasn't a lot. And they'll be getting us set up with the software program that utilizes GIS, and we'll be able to continue. Every time we upgrade a road, it'll get added to the system, and it's a great program. Putnam uses it and Woodstock uses it currently. And yeah, it's just very excited.
So did we get a preliminary report?
We got a draft report that Joe has at the garage, but the final report,
Well, no, because I'm wondering what he's working off of. That's why. I would have to think it's.
The draft report or the
The draft
recommendation?
report.
the draft report isn't gonna change much from the final report. There were just a few.
Oh, no,
tweaks
that's
to the
right. But I
roads.
mean, the roads that he is
The
doing.
roads he chose before the report came in. All I'm saying is that the way the report came in, it confirmed that the roads that Joe
They were in
chose
alignment with.
were in alignment with what was most needed for the town.
And did he get from that study that was down about the chip sealing and that?
Yeah, the roads that he recently chip sealed were all in line to get that type of maintenance. So if
The
there's
chip
any
sealing
question,
is to
it's a
to
preservation.
preserve
maintenance.
and maintain it for longer use without having to go through the whole reclamation process, right?
Correct.
It's, the chip sealing will, there's
Right.
an emulsion that goes down. It'll seal up the fine cracks. It won't do
And we-
major cracks.
Well, we had already filled the cracks in the fall. So,
And,
this
and
was
then you put the
second
layer
part
of
the fall.
chipstone, which is
Yep,
what, it's a top layer and
It's not a
layers
repair method, it's a preservation.
Right.
method.
right.
to make it last longer.
Right.
Being proactive instead of reactive.
So, and that
Preserve it.
report outlined all the roads that Joe recently took on, all fell under that maintenance plan. So, I'm happy to have seen that, because I know there was a lot of grumbling.
And when
about it.
the report comes in before the presentation, you'll share it with us, so we.
Oh,
can-
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it's,
Sounds
like
like
I said,
something that will be fun to go.
Yeah,
through.
you can see what it,
yeah. So,
Yeah, okay,
and the
good.
map is going to be displayed in the Public Works garage, and I've also talked with Joe about pulling the staff in on sitting down with Beta Corp and discussing the findings as well, so that the staff are part of the process of determining which roads need to get repaired. So,
I'm really glad to hear that Fabian was able to stay in the budget because we've had so many requests in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
oh, it's been going
And,
on for the last
Yeah,
10 years.
yeah,
and I've said it over and over, Joe's plan is to, we're on this side of town now.
yes.
Next year, he hopes to shift gears to a different section of town. But again, utilizing that roadmap that we have now from Beta Corp.
Well, that's gonna dictate the roads that we need to attack.
Yeah,
And of course, that can vary depending on how rough our winter may be and if something
Yeah.
comes apart.
yep, for sure. So that's what I had to share, but Joe will be, we discussed he would come in on the 18th. I think it was the 18th or the 15th.
For next month?
5, 7, 12, 8, 18th, the 18th. Yeah, the 18th of July, and he'll make
Second
a
meeting.
full report and let us know how things
First
are
and
going
second,
with
yeah.
the major projects.
Good, excellent. Looking forward
Is
to
he
it.
done chip sealing now?
Yep, I think they finished up with Rich Road today. I think that was the last road,
Because I saw Woodstock was chip sealing as well. and
Yeah.
I think it's the same
same company.
company that when they're up here, they hit all the time.
At the 2 week mark, he'll go out with the sweeper.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna start next week. The interesting thing is Aquatic Road, which is so heavily traveled with tractor trailer trucks, there's almost no gravel left on it because it's been beaten down by the trucks into the
First day,
surface.
it was a mess with gravel and I just came down it and it's, yeah,
Yeah, it's almost
it's back
again.
to, yeah.
So. All right. With that, we'll move on to agenda item 9. Teague's request to dig test pits on town property for a potential expansion of Teague Food Market. I hope I got that accurate, but I did meet with Ann and members of the Teague board. Their plan is to, of course, obtain a grant. They have, did you guys get it was in the packet, okay. They have sort of a site that they think is most promising, but of course, they do need to do some tests to see how much ledge, how suitable it is for the construction phase. But with that, I'm going to, if the board approves, I'm going to just turn it over to John Rice or anybody else from the Teague board that might have something to share about this.
Other than just what you meant, the board of directors is looking for a way to expand the food pantry. It's just, it's not serving the purpose that it was built 10 years ago.
Mhm.
You know, it did at that time, but now it's just outgrown its use or
Well,
space.
It's
actually.
expanded beyond what we thought it was gonna do.
Well, I mentioned that the other day to a group up there and saying, when we moved from 65 Main Street, and we thought we had all kind of room up there, extra room, office space, and plenty for the, and it was. But now, 10
But the
years
need is-
later, the needs are probably tenfold.
Mhm.
So with hopefully investigating this site, as you see on your plan, it's in that parking lot as our number 1.
Which is number E, or letter E, not number, letter E. So we have A, B, C, D, and E. E is where the location would be that they want to dig the test pits
Oh, so it's,
across the street.
It's a cross going up to the field.
oh,
It's that
okay, I
parking lot
misunderstood.
to the
what you-
left of you.
So, okay, so
You see that parking,
you're here from Teague, not the building committee then,
right?
okay.
And it's
I have a couple of jobs going.
just a few.
No, that's why I have to ask what title you have on today.
It's-
What hat are you
I was
wearing?
gonna wear my tea hat, I guess.
This-
So basically,
So-
you know, before we start digging, we wanted to get permission from the town, because it's town-owned property.
That was my question. So this is gonna be a Teague-owned building?
Town-owned building.
It'll be a town-owned building and the town will be
Grant
charged with
once it's-
maintaining
Once
it?
it's constructed, I think will be just like the
Teague
the
building.
main team building be on a lease.
That's what I was gonna say. So we have to do a lease and the town will, does
We-
Teague maintains the building now or does the town?
Yes.
Teague
Yeah.
does, right?
Yeah, they-
And you would just lease it from us for $1 or
Yeah.
whatever it is. I think we're gonna,
Yeah, I think the first $500 in repairs that Teague is on pays for, then after that, we pay for it.
Is that what it is?
Part of the lease, yes.
Mhm.
Because when some of the HVAC units have gone down,
With a big hit.
yeah, it was a big hit, and then we picked up the rest,
What kind
because
of,
it is our building.
Right.
do you have an idea what kind of building you're looking to put in? Is it gonna be a
Stick built,
stick built?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I know they have the prefab tin ones there with the tin, that go up pretty quickly.
No.
No.
This'll-
I'm just asking,
This
I
will
don't know.
expand the market entirely, help me understand, correct?
Yeah.
Refrigeration.
Yeah.
Because I've been there,
I gotta have more
I've been
information.
there, I've been there when they received that truckload of food last year with Target. They lost power, they just
Yeah.
gave food away, and we ran out of space so fast.
Mhm. Yeah,
It
so
was
essentially
insane.
the very basic idea up front, details have obviously not been discussed at length, but ideally the first floor of this building would be the market, probably some office space for our community programs folks who are operating the market. To have a case manager over there to meet with clients when they come in for appointments. They would have the walk-in freezer, walk-in cooler, additional storage space for, dry food and that food that needs to be stored in a fridge or a freezer. And then a second level for additional commodity storage that our building just doesn't have right now. So things like diapers and formula, other items that we can hold on to for a long period of time, but right now we're having to move them out as quickly as possible because we just don't have the available storage space to keep them long term.
So the addition, because we had looked at the saddles on the building and everything, going back out the back, going out the front. Moving the market over, putting it all under one roof.
Yeah.
Now gives us the office space to.
Yes, it allows us to move extra community space into what is currently the market. So
Market.
that could be additional meeting space. It could be another space for a play group or another community group to function in. Or some additional offices and things like that, rather than making adjustments on the current building. We felt that would be really disruptive to day-to-day operations and probably more costly in the long run.
Just for the record, and I don't remember your name, but
That's okay.
just so that Dottie knows your
Sure,
capacity at
I'm
T.
Alice Rich. I'm the Human Resources Administrator at Teague.
Okay.
I oversee building operations, maintenance with John really overseeing me. on a lot of
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
John didn't hear that.
Additionally, this is all gonna be entirely grant funded as the building was before. But in order to start applying for grants, as we know, they need a plan, they need to have a site plan,
Yeah,
site
Our
work.
goal here is to really have a shovel-ready plan, so we have a few grant opportunities that have come up through Connecticut Food Share, which is who helps us maintain our food pantry. And also through Lowe's, so when those opportunities are available, we'd like to be able to submit a plan right away, so that way we're not, running against a deadline to get these things into works prior to receiving the money.
So I worked in the food pantry when it was in the basement. And everything was very well organized, but there was no space at that time.
Yeah.
And that was 20 years ago. Yeah,
The storage was where the furnace was.
yeah.
Right.
That's what I've heard.
There was,
And
it
they're
was,
very-
and then if we got a lot of like the holidays, it was in the main room upstairs
Yeah.
on the first floor. Yeah.
And that's really what we're dealing with now is during the holidays, our community program space where we run play group or some of these other activities becomes a storage compartment to store all of that food and make sure that we're prepared to do an adequate holiday distribution. We rented a portable freezer this year, which was very effective and, helped not put an extra strain on the freezer we have, but was very costly to the agency. So it's not something we'd like to continue to do if we can avoid that. If we can increase the space without overloading the current system, that would be ideal.
And how is the food bank doing right now with donations? I know everybody gives at Christmas time and Thanksgiving throughout the holidays, but there's times like in the middle of summer when donations can be slim.
That our donations are coming in constantly. I mean, we have such a supportive community around.
No, you're
us
supposed to
that-
say you need more donations. That was for you to put a plug in.
Always take more. We have really great staff. We have really great community members, really great farmers this time of year, especially that will give us, surplus
Farmers market.
products and things like that. So we will always take the food as soon as it comes in, but that's what we don't want to be expanded on the space. We don't want to ever say no to food. So unfortunately, with fresh food, if you don't have the refrigerator space, we just can't accept it. We'll take it in as quickly as we can and try to push it out to another food market that can benefit from it. But we don't ever want to get to the point where we have to say no because we know the need is there.
I was there the other day when the food bank truck came in And I briefly told him about the new thing and he was excited because they have food that they could bring into this area and we just don't have the place. So we know, he knows that we can't take it. He said this will be good because with this design, his truck now he parks in the middle of the parking lot. So if there's people there getting the distribution, you know, it kind of makes it congested. So with this design, he'll be able to go around the back up and load it at the same level. It's gonna be.
Did you notice a big increase when the SNAP benefits were reduced?
Yes.
I bet.
The increase is just grown. I mean, I don't think we've ever plateaued or dipped at all. I mean, we have the market in Pomfret now, we have a mobile market in Woodstock. You can get food any day of the week, really at any time if you're in an emergency situation. So our pantry appointments are full every day of the week. So the need is certainly there and will probably just continue to grow.
All right, I'll make a motion to allow Teague to do the tests,
Oh, yes.
dig the test pits for a potential building up in the parking lot next to their facility.
Second.
Okay, motion from Ken, second from Suzanne. Any further discussion on this?
I'm assuming they're going to need more documentation from us or some sort of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a reclamation, not a, documentation, something that we are supporting this when you go to apply for the grants.
Oh,
What am I saying?
Letter of support.
Support or something, yeah.
Yeah, when,
I
It
think the
comes
first
time.
phase. we
This
wanna
is the
see
first
what
phase.
they-
Yeah.
Because how much lead we may have.
But
to
you'll
move.
keep us in
I
the
don't
loop.
think we're gonna
Yes.
move it, it's just gonna go back further, that's all, but it'll disrupt some of the current thinking of the board and that building committee from Teague. So.
What was the
this
date
is
we,
Just the first step.
what was the date we were shooting for?
We were hoping to meet again.
No, I'm talking about for the grant when
Oh.
there was a
grant.
date.
I believe the food share grant, we have 2 years to apply for that grant before their money is no longer available. So I mean, as soon as we could get a plan ready, we have an architect on the board who, you know, and engineers and a very well-rounded board that's ready to put this project together as soon as we have a space that they know they can work with. The only thing I would ask of the board here is if this site we find during that pit test is not usable, would you give us permission to dig on any of these other sites that are laid out while we have somebody there ready? to
that's
do
what I was
that?
gonna suggest.
Just so that way, if
Yeah.
they get down there and say, no way on earth, there's way too much lead here, and we've got somebody there ready to go, you know, can they go up to site B or to site A, and dig those test pits rather than having to come back and ask again?
So A, B, C, and E, and D?
I would say probably just A and B. D,
Yes.
we really had ruled out that it would just be too disruptive to the agency and it would limit parking, and there was a number of reasons that we weren't in
Did-
favor of that.
Did
and-
we determine that A wasn't town property though? Why did I think that wasn't?
Yeah.
No, you have,
It isn't, but the potential is there, we get it purchased.
Right, but we can't give permission for A. If it's not town property.
So I
So,
would say just E and B then.
Yeah.
At this point,
right,
and if for some reason both of those sites didn't work, we would probably have to go back to the drawing board.
right.
yeah, see, going into that hill is gonna pose
Yeah.
a challenge.
Yeah, the space there would really only give us a couple of offices at best, and that
Mhm.
would certainly help, but probably not be the bigger fix that we're looking to address right now.
Well, hopefully E pans out, because that's the best,
And none of it.
Avenue to
is
go without
school property
disrupting
or-
the
Well,
whole
it's school
building.
property is town property.
The,
True, but I mean.
and I
it's
did
not going
mention
to-
Oh, no, nothing
to a
that would
couple
affect,
of the
I don't. think.
members, I know I mentioned it to John. Don't remember if I mentioned it to Steve. We do have property on Main Street, which used to be the Merrill Snay property. Just as you come out Reardon Road,
Uh-huh.
there's a vacant lot that Merrill Senior had, the town ended up with.
Mhm.
That would be but it's away from the
Mhm.
initial Teague, and you'd rather stay
Mm.
near the main place, but as a possibility, we do have that on Main Street.
Mhm.
as well. Something to look at,
Absolutely.
and that's one of those with the
Mhm.
hills, so you could do a street level and.
Yep.
You know, something, so just something that we'll keep in the back of our minds.
Absolutely.
So I just want to clarify that your motion, Ken, would include
The both locations.
both locations, okay. And Suzanne, are you agreeable
E and E.
with it being both E and B?
Yeah, B and E,
B
not
and
E
D,
and E.
yeah. Yes,
Okay, so all in favor of approving the request to dig test pits on town property for the potential expansion of the Teague Food Market, say aye.
I,
Aye, and that motion passes. All right. A request, Jessica could not be here tonight, Jessica Bolte, who made the request for us because she is in her Board of Education meeting tonight. Mary R. Fisher Elementary School PTO is again looking to host a Fill the Swing drive at the transfer station. We'd like to host August 12th and August 26th from 8 to 2:30. We are currently working on playground expansion project for the Blacktop area to get the kids a workable project. To date, we've raised $35,000 between fundraisers, private donation, and grant funding. I know the request is early, but we're trying to put a full calendar together.
I'll make a motion to allow them to do it on the 12th and the 26th of August at the transfer station.
I'll second that.
So Ken has the motions, Suzanne has the second. Any discussion on this request? Okay, all in favor of approving the request to host a Fill the Swing drive at the transfer station, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion passes. The next request, agenda item 11, Blue House staffing request to hold the Wallace Holder Summer Food Drive at Town Hall parking lot to benefit Teague, and these dates would be July 7th, July 21st, August 4th, and August 18th, all Fridays from 9 a.m. to 12. It would be in the parking lot. They said that they would have one table, 2 chairs, 1 to 3 cars, rain or shine. And again, just so that I'm clear with the public, my name is Sarah. I would like to request use of the town hall parking lot for the Wallace Holder Summer Food Drive, put on by Blue House Staffing and Teague of Thompson. Wallace recently passed away after many, many years of service to the community through Teague. In thanks and remembrance to Wallace for all his hard work, we are running a summer food drive in which the donations will be delivered to Teague and distributed to the community members in need. So that's the details behind that.
I like that on Fridays. That frees up Saturdays for other organizations that may come in front of us as well.
Yep.
So I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Suzanne has the motion and Ken has the second to allow Blue House Staffing to hold the Wallace Holder Summer Food Drive in Town Hall parking lot. Any other discussion on this? All in favor of approving the request, say aye.
I,
Aye. And that motion passes. Agenda item 7. We received a request from Karen Durlach. Hi, Amy. I would like to bring up a suggestion to the Board of Selectmen. That's a little easier and more pleasant than budget issues.
that's always nice.
I would like the board to create a position for a poet laureate of Thompson. Several nearby towns have them. Pomfret has 2. And we have a growing poetry community in Thompson. Their job is to promote poetry in the area, organize events, and be an ambassador for poetry. I have someone in mind who is actually doing the work now. Let me know if you want more information, or I can be added to the board's agenda. And so she is on the agenda for tonight. Shall we have her present?
Absolutely.
All right, Karen.
Please do.
Karen Gerlach, 94 Peppermill Road in Microbigdale. So I recently went to this lovely event in the town hall in Putnam, and there were about five poet laureates. And I turned around and I said to Steve Ballou, if you don't know him, who was also there, and I said, does Thompson have a poet laureate? Because it seemed like the way they were talking is every town had a poet laureate. We said, no, well, let's see if we can do it. So this is a description of what they do.
I found this on the website. There is actually a Connecticut organization of poet laureates. I've got a 5-page list here of past and present. So all the towns that have had it, I could, if you want to take a look at that, or I could read them out, but so all over the state. So it's not something that is always there, you know, when there's a poet to do the job and willing to do it, and it can go for the lifetime or a year or whatever. But what I want to say before we discuss it further is, it sounds like it's an honorary appointment, but it's a job. And it's a free volunteer job. So it doesn't cost the town anything. If we need to raise money for events, we can do that separate. And I'm also speaking as, I'm not speaking for the Community Art Show Committee, but I'm speaking as a 20-year member of the Art Show Committee. When we do the art show, we have people coming out of the woodwork. And I think that the same thing might happen with poets. I know other people in town who write and attend these poetry events. And I think it would be a great community new thing that we bring to town, and it could work with, you know, with the rec department, with historical, do Walktober events or whatever. So the second item I'm going to bring up is that introducing Steve, he's already doing this kind of work, and he said he would be willing to do it. So I'm making a second suggestion that you create the position and that you appoint Steve, and I would say maybe a 2-year position, because it takes time to get this stuff going and book people to read and things like that. And if we find we want to gravitate it over to a Thompson Together kind of thing, you know, I don't expect that you guys are gonna do applications and interview people to start with. If down the road, Steve says, I've had enough, and this is a basis for starting, we could do that. You know, we could take applications. So, you know, in the paperwork I gave you, they talk about that's one way to do it. But I think while we have somebody willing and able, that we should try to get a program put together. So some of the towns are West Hartford, Glastonbury, North Haven, New London, Seabury, Woodbury, Vernon, and it goes on and on. The ones that are local, again, are Chaplin and Pomfret.
And you went to an event in Putnam, but Putnam doesn't have. Does Putnam have a poet
Putnam
laureate?
doesn't have one on the list here.
Okay.
So the person who is doing this could become a member of this organization, and then they could network with other people that are doing the work. And Steve's already got a network, and he's helping organize. We have a poetry group meeting in Putnam now. And also you're doing a program in Wallingford?
I started holding events at my house. I had the
Right.
one, I think, October and November, I'm doing my house again. I'm also organizing with the Eastern Connecticut PC chap. They have a venue up in Wellington, Connecticut, and we're beginning it's called the Packing House Poetry Series in September. And I've already booked people for September, October, November, and December. You know, so I obviously have a sufficient network to be able to, you know, to call upon people to, you know, to perform wherever. Basically, I mean, in Thompson, we don't have such a thing, you know, that we do in an organized fashion. I mean, we do this at a community center, for example. We can do it as part of some other
Part of community
weekend
day.
event.
Right.
I'm waiting for work to begin on that huge empty mill, so that we can maybe put together an art gallery and a poetry venue. I mean, you know, who knows
Right.
what the future
And
holds.
he's
But,
published. He's
Okay.
published by it.
So I was gonna say, I don't know him, so can I look,
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I think it's a fabulous idea. I think it's gonna add some
And culture.
culture to our community
And
and
we might be able to
enrich and.
Add some events in with the community art show.
well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's great.
What's amazing to me is that, I mean, I moved to Thompson maybe about 10 years ago and started kind of feeling around, and most of the things I've been involved with have been with the visual arts, photography, that kind of stuff. But in the last few years, it just seems like poetry events are just all over the place. At least for me, because I'm obviously growing in the number of people that I know. But it's I think it'd be a great thing for Thompson. You can even do something with the school systems. I have Victoria Norland from Rocky Hill High School has won all kinds of awards for students who are achieving amazing work under her guidance. And so getting that kind of motivation, to a town like Thompson, there may well be people toward that new creative writing, teaching, I don't know.
I think it's a great idea because it could tie into so many things.
Mhm.
The only thing that I don't want to do, by saying we're gonna do this tonight,
Mhm.
okay? There are people that we need to reach out to, the school, the library board of directors, there's a variety of things. Because they're all gonna probably host something or whatever.
I don't know that we need to reach out. You're looking
I
for
didn't
us
say
to
us.
appoint the position,
No, I'm
right?
saying the
But
position.
overall.
You're looking to
We have
appoint a
make the
position,
decision to make the appointment of some.
create
sort.
the position.
But I wouldn't say necessarily,
Then-
I feel like if we were going to move forward with appointing a poet laureate, that it probably should be opened up to whoever might want to apply.
And
make it a little
just
more
to be,
formal,
yeah,
just to be fair. It's like, well.
I
how
just
did
see
you
that
decide?
then pushing it out 6 months or
Well,
whatever.
I don't wanna
figuring
put-
out
I don't
how to
think
do
so.
that.
oh, no.
I don't want to push it out.
No, I don't think that's the case.
No, no, no.
But all right, I just also want to say, then it puts you in a position of making a judgment about their credentials, and that's, I don't know if that's your function.
It kind of would be if
It
we're
kinda would
appointing,
be.
if appointments, have to kind of, that would be part of our function is to go through it and.
I mean,
Not-
my
not that we-
thought process is that they're not gonna be banging down the door to say, I wanna be the poet laureate. It's just, but to be diplomatic. I think just having some type of formal process. But that would be my opinion, but I lean on the board for their.
Well, one of
thoughts.
these pages I think I gave you was like an application, if you were gonna do that, recommend the
Yeah.
boilerplate announcement. If you were gonna.
Oh, yeah, looking for some towns we've done, we can.
Yeah.
discuss.
My,
I think we could just simply put something together, put it out on the website, Facebook, website. Asking if anyone's interested and then making an appointment within the next meeting or the meeting after,
yeah, sure.
so that it's in place by the end of.
But I'd like to
July.
get. You understand the program and how, because you're running one now, if I remember correctly. How the community gets involved, whether it's done at the Riverside Park at the gazebo, it's done at the library, historicals, these different things. You do need to get a buy-in that these people are willing to. Say, hey, great idea, I'd love to do it, it'll go well with the Archo or up at the school, and just reach out and say, this is what we're planning, and this is how it would work, and this is how other towns work it. Because you want that buy-in.
Right, well, I'm reading like even the opportunities on the reception held in his or her honor soon after the appointment. Represent the town as part of the CCPL duties, whatever, engage the community, but like I'm thinking, and I know you said 6 months, but I'm thinking, why not do it at Community Day? Where we officially announce who was appointed as poet laureate and have a special event during Community Day. That's all part of poetry and where we announce and. Make the appointment official and do something to honor the person.
Right, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
but it would
that's
be
perfect
nice if
time.
It was
And-
chosen before.
Right,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Then, but that's where we do the.
I think
official-
that idea too,
And
that would
set
be,
up some.
just to give
events
a
that they
kickoff or a,
Yeah.
announce, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that would be
That's-
nice,
it's sort
actually.
of like the
That's
official
why I'm
unveil.
saying, 2 or 3 year appointment would make more
Mhm.
sense,
It-
because you
yeah.
wanna
Sure.
set up those events.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, working with Thompson together, working with the library and the library board, the school, this is stuff, this will enhance some of the education and what kids may want to do in the school.
Sure.
You know, writing poetry. And, you know, community days, like you said, it's perfect time to,
Not
Kick
that he
it
won't be
off.
he or she won't be appointed before then, but that would be
Yeah.
the day where we officially
To kick it
unveil,
off.
here's what this is the things that are up and coming in the next year, and make it an official big celebration kind of.
does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, this is government. I knew this would be your answer. It had to be your answer because you can't just, just do something. You know, and I agree. It's like, and I know probably a couple people who would be interested. Richard Brockdeck, you may have met.
Mhm.
He's got his hands in a number of things. You know, Karen, for that matter, writes wonderful poetry. So really, this is just kind of a good discussion I mean, I'm already envisioning from what you've said, the variety of opportunities that present themselves to the person who is the poet laureate, to really reach out into the community that's not necessarily poets. I mean, quite frankly, you go to a poetry event and everyone there because they're all poets. To be able to branch away from or out from that, to really get a sense of community involvement would be, a great achievement.
I mean, I could see that working out very well, even with the seniors, programs over at the community center.
Mhm.
Just remind you to remember we did that song contest for the train wreck. And people came out of the woodwork
Oh,
to
yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea. I think it will be nice to have the town support behind it by giving it a little kickoff at Community Day. And I think it's something that we could put together easily as far as picking,
In the next month or two.
yeah,
Well, I would say within a couple of meetings,
Right, yeah.
get it done
we meet
by,
every, first and third, so
we get it done by the second meeting in July.
that's what I'm thinking.
Right, because you do need to
Right.
prep for Community Day, which is the last Sunday in,
Mhm.
September this
Yeah.
year. Yeah.
So Karen, what I'll do is, we'll work on something to blast out onto the webpage. Announce it on Facebook, etc., Thompson Together, all those platforms. I'll run it by you. Maybe you can help me tweak the language on what we're looking for, etc. And just to make the announcement, hey, Thompson,
it's gonna go into this direction.
yeah, would love to appoint a poet laureate or two. Because there's no saying that it has to be one,
It
right?
could just be one, or I was thinking, once we get going, you'd have a support team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that works out well.
So, is that what?
I think so. I think
Yeah.
it's a great idea. I think it really adds something to our community that we don't have. And it's a positive thing, and I like that. And I'm not a poet, but I'm gonna enjoy it.
But I bet you could be,
Ma-
if you
You
want.
think I'm a poet and I don't know it?
You could be.
I don't think so.
But I mean, we do the,
The job of the poet laureate to teach
To
you
pull
guys
it out of
how
you.
to write, pull yourself.
I mean,
together.
Rec does the concert series, which is a big hit.
The
Right.
arts, yeah.
It's all part of the arts and music and everything else.
Yeah. Actually, one of the things that I have been doing again in Wellington, it's called a talent showcase. And it's mostly musicians, so we get 20-minute slots. I came in as the only spoken word person, and then I brought in a couple more people. And I think I started panicking the director, who said, why don't we make a poetry series separate from this other thing? And so we're doing that starting in
Great.
September.
I'll just throw out for information that there's a regular meeting of poets at the Book Lovers Gourmet in Webster.
Okay.
And there's a series that is partly at the Rose Room in Webster and then at the Roseland.
Rosen Park,
So
yeah.
people are interested in
And then-
any of those.
And then we have an open group that meets at Sawdust Cafe in Putnam.
Yeah.
On the first Thursday of the month. Couple hours, so
Making note of it.
it's a busy group.
Yeah.
Getting bigger.
You'd
That's
be
fabulous.
surprised at how many closet poetry writers there are.
Yeah, I know. And what's funny is that most of the people that I see are reading them right off their phone.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I could never do that.
Sounds like a pretty good idea.
I think it's great.
So we will learn this when they're putting it back on.
Oh, yeah, it'll be the next meeting or the one right after that. But most likely, we'll keep it fresh. For the
Yeah,
next two meetings.
Yeah, we don't want to let it lag.
We'll keep revisiting it. I'll keep it on the agenda.
It's nice to have something positive on the agenda. It's nice to have something different and positive. Something positive for Thompson.
All right, any other thoughts?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the idea. I love it. All right, with that, is there any other business to bring before the board this evening? Okay, hearing none, we'll open the floor up for citizen comments. We'll start with the live audience, citizen comments. Any citizen comments at this time? Okay, seeing none, virtual, any citizen comments? All right, going once. Going twice. All right, on to agenda item 15, tax refunds. I make a motion that we refund Katie M. Berube $6.83.
That's it?
That's it?
That's it.
That's a tough one.
Second.
Motion from Amy, second by Suzanne, all in favor of approving these tax refunds as presented, or the tax refund as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 8:06 PM, I make a motion that we adjourn.
You got it.
Okay, motion by Amy, second by Ken, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.
Have a good night. Have a good week.